Hello and welcome to the Fixture by WICC. I'm your host, Meg Linehan. I'm a staff writer covering women's soccer at The Athletic. Let's get right into the final of the NWSL Challenge Cup, with the Houston Dash hoisting the cup on Sunday after defeating the Chicago Red Stars 2-0. Now, I had to wear a Dash jersey to honor them for their first ever trophy in the NWSL, but let's actually break down how they won and what this means for Houston. Canadian international Sophie Schmidt gave the Houston Dash an early lead via a penalty in the 5th minute. Christy Muse earned the call after being taken down in the box by Chicago rookie defender Kayla Sharples. The Dash managed to hold on to that one-goal advantage for another 85 minutes before getting another one past goalkeeper Alyssa Nair. In the 91st minute, co-captain Rachel Daly provided the service right through the Red Stars' defense to Shea Groom, who rounded a diving Nair and scored. With the combo, Daly earned the NWSL's Golden Boot Award for the Challenge Cup, and Groom went on to win Women of the Match honors for the final. Houston had a mission to earn respect and win the NWSL Challenge Cup, and on Sunday, they did both. Now the work begins to keep the success going in the NWSL. Okay, so with the Challenge Cup final behind us, what comes next for the National Women's Soccer League? Ahead of Sunday's championship match, the NWSL Board of Directors met to figure out if there are more games in store for us in 2020 here in America. Now, Commissioner Lisa Baird said last week that the league is ready to resume training, but no final decisions have been made on any matches or competitions as of right now, but most importantly, any of those decisions will be guided by the league's medical protocols. Baird and the league have asked players to return to their home markets by August 17th via an email that was sent to every player last week and was also obtained by The Athletic. Now, players will have the opportunity to apply for additional time off or extend their leave, but otherwise they get 22 days off between the actual end of the NWSL Challenge Cup and reporting back to their home markets. The league also has to update their medical protocols following the Challenge Cup, and they're looking to enter what they call Phase 5, which would allow for exhibition games. Now, there's no info yet as to where those games would be held, if they're going to be in teams' home markets, potentially with some travel involved, or maybe something resembling more of a regional tournament format. And there's definitely no information yet as to if any fans are going to be allowed at an NWSL game in 2020, period. So either way, Lisa Baird told the players that no matter what, any post-Challenge Cup season is going to end by October 17th, 2020. Now, of course, the NWSL had plenty of good news this week thanks to awarding a new expansion team to a star-studded ownership group in Los Angeles. Tentatively called Angel City, the new club will begin their NWSL play in 2022. Now, let's get into these owners. We've got a core four here of actor and activist Natalie Portman, tech VC partner Karen Nortman, media and gaming entrepreneur Julie Ehrman, and tech investor Alexis Ohanian. The ownership group also includes Ohanian's wife, Serena Williams, you might know that name, and their 2-year-old daughter, Olympia, who is now the youngest owner in professional sports. 14 former U.S. Women's National Team players are also involved, including Mia Hamm, Julie Foudy, Abby Wambach. That list keeps going. And then Portman is also joined by a ton of Hollywood talent, including Uzo Aduba, Jessica Chastain, America Ferrera, Jennifer Garner, and Ava Longoria. And the list of owners just keeps on going. But before we get to the 2022 season, Racing Louisville FC is actually joining the league as a new expansion team in 2021, and they're very close to hiring their first ever NWSL head coach. There might be some big question marks, absolutely, about the NWSL before the end of 2020. But thanks to big TV numbers, new sponsorships, new expansion groups, the future remains pretty bright for the NWSL. Okay, so there's been a lot of big news regarding player signings in the FAWSL, and I want to focus on 3 names in particular so you can have all the latest from England. So first, Chelsea announced last week that they have signed Canadian Jessie Fleming to a 3-year deal, keeping her with Emma Hayes' side through the summer of 2023. Fleming has been a star in the midfield for both club and for college. In Canada, she's already earned 77 caps despite being just 22, and she scored 10 goals. She made her senior team debut at the age of 15. Fleming went to UCLA and scored 25 goals in 75 appearances, plus she majored in materials engineering with an environmental science minor, so she really does it all. Now, Manchester City have also been pretty busy. As I originally reported at The Athletic, they have their eye on a couple of US midfielders. Sources have said that Sam Mewis, World Cup winner, has signed with the Blues, and then her fellow World Cup winner and bronze ball winner, Rose Lavelle, might not be far behind and is weighing an offer of her own. Man City are still looking for that final breakthrough in Champions League. They've made the semifinals twice, but they've been knocked out by Lyon both times, and you won't be watching them this August as they got knocked out in the round of 16 by Atletico Madrid. Now, both Chelsea and Man City women were already nominated as the two clubs from the FAWSL to qualify for the 2020-2021 Champions League after the most recent season ended early due to the pandemic, and it's clear that expectations are still extremely high for both clubs. On our first episode, I gave you my WICC Best 11 of the NWSL Challenge Cup, and now that we're through the final, I just want to give you one final update to that 11 and how I voted for the league's awards, since there's one change and it's a big one. So here's my WICC Best 11 of the NWSL Challenge Cup, the final version. Kaylin Sheridan in goal, Steph Cox, Julie Ertz, Paige Nielsen, Sarah Gordon for the back line, then Lindsay Horan, Veronica Boquete, and Dabinia in the midfield, Shea Groom and Lynn Williams up top, and I had to give the edge to Rachel Daly in the best 11 after the semifinals, and obviously the team's performance in the final. So now let's get a sense of who the best of the best are in Europe. Now this 11 could just keep going, and it's not tied to an event like the Challenge Cup here in the States. So when in doubt, I went with someone that I've seen play in person and just been completely blown away by. So for goalkeeper, I'm going with PSG's Christiane Endler, 2 clean sheets for her so far in their current Champions League. And yes, I am still swayed by the 2019 World Cup. I will fully admit it. I'm good with it. So in defense, Lucy Bronze, currently still with Lyon through Champions League, but on her way to Man City. And then Wendy Renard, who's really the face of Lyon in my book. Captain for club and country, Steph Houghton of Manchester City, and then we're going to need Chelsea captain Magdalena Eriksson out on the left in this 11. In the midfield, I've got 2 players from FC Barcelona, Caroline Graham-Hansen and Alexia Putellas. Now, I'm still buzzing about watching her in her games for Spain here in the States for She Believes Cup. And while there are a couple of contenders for Lyon that could round out this midfield, I'm going to go with Amandine Henry, and she can own the game like no one else. Up top, have to start with Chelsea's Sam Kerr. Now, of course, they mentioned her plenty during the NWSL Challenge Cup, much to some annoyance of folks here in the States, but it's hard to not realize just because of her NWSL legacy. Viviane Miedema of Arsenal is also an absurd scoring kick, but that's just par for the course from her. And then nabbing my final player from Barcelona again, Jennifer Hermoso made the move from Madrid to Barcelona and just kept scoring goals. So in my book, that's a pretty terrifying best 11, and I definitely think that they'd have the edge over my 11 from the NWSL Challenge Cup. But either way, honestly, I'm ready to buy a ticket front row to that match. Just tell me the time and date. Okay, so that's another episode of The Fixture by WICC for all of you. We'll keep you up to date through August for the upcoming conclusion to the Women's Champions League. Now, if you want even more women's soccer, I'm sure you do, don't forget to watch the conference call with Ali Long and Veronica Boquete. There's another new episode this week. Charlene Corral and Kiana Palacios are on. And always, always, always make sure that you follow at ICC Women so you don't miss a thing from international women's soccer. And then you can always find me at It's Meg Linehan. And hey, we'll see you in August for even more women's soccer.